in the newsroom this afternoon. That's because a certain Rey Mysterio is in town to promote a Night of Champions on Sky Box Office. It's taking place on Sunday night, June the 29th, early hours of the morning. So Rey is here, and before we really get stuck into a good old chat, Rey, we're going to have to ask you about the man in the mask look. Where did it come from?
It's very interesting that you asked that, because back almost 5 decades ago, this all began in Mexico City. And it's been very famous ever since. There was a wrestler, legend that passed away now, but under the name of El Santo, the Saint. And he carried that mask for many, many years.
Do your masks change, or do you just wear the same one?
Colors and patterns change up, but the design always stay the same. The falcons on the side, the cross, and in the back I carry an Aztec calendar. Right back there.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's just representing my heritage. I'm Mexican, so I represent my heritage.
A lot of people, Ray, say that I should probably be doing my job wearing a mask as well. So I know how it feels.
I got one for you if you need one.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Well, I would love to have one. Stick it on eBay. Only joking.
Whoa,
Only
let
joking.
me sign it for you.
I would love to have one. It's also, we have to point out, Ray, we've had some wrestlers in here before, and we've met you before a couple of years ago. But you're not the biggest of wrestlers.
No.
That's all, are you?
Just 5'4", 5 foot 4 inches.
5 foot 4 inches.
175 pounds.
How bored do you get of people asking you that question? Because I get it the whole time.
Do you? You know what?
Being vertically challenged myself.
Back when I became a wrestler, it was always, you're too small, you're too skinny, you're not gonna make it. And now it's incredible, because now I hardly get asked that question, but they do respect what I do because I stand out in the bunch.
One of our emails, Matthew Eaton from Reading, he says, how do you feel when you step into the ring with someone twice your size? Is there sort of an intimidation factor in that, or?
I think there's always an intimidation factor when you step, especially in the ring with somebody that's twice as bigger than you and weighs the double or even more than what you weigh. Especially when his hand just covers your whole head. You know, it's incredible. And this the great Khali, so it's very intimidating.
How do you get round that then? You run through their legs?
That's the first thing. It's like chopping a tree. You know, go for the legs, and they go down on their knees.
Ankle
then
biter.
after that, they're about my size. Then I can start kicking or punching the face.
But being 5'4", you surely make up for it in other ways. I mean, you're still a big guy.
I try to stay in fit, but I think what really helps me out is my speed, my techniques, and
How much is wrestling to do with technique?
I think a big percentage, especially, you know, I'm second generation, so I've been doing this for almost 19 years. That was the famous 619.
619, we love that move.
Yeah.
We'll try and show that again, because that is something special. That is when you hold on to the ring and spin your legs all the way around.
Yeah, that's correct. It took a lot of practice to get that down, but finally I got it. I got it down, and I had to name it, and it's the 619. It's the area code for San Diego, California.
I need to explain this to Georgie as well, Ray, but I was watching an episode of Heroes, okay, which is on our television over here at the moment as well,
right.
and somebody has this superpower where when they see something, they can suddenly do it themselves, and they were watching Ray do this move
Seriously?
on the television, and then they did it when someone robbed their restaurant.
And you know what was incredible and made it even better? It was a girl. It was a girl that did the 619.
Did they consult you about that?
No, not at all. Hey, I got no problem with that. It's okay. Once they did it, and a lot of people saw it, they said, oh, that's Ray's move. She stole it from him.
That's no bad thing, is it, in the end? So we're talking about taking on bigger players in this wrestling game, the likes of the Big Show. What's it like being on the receiving end of him? He's sort of 500 pounds, isn't he?
That's the same experience that I went through when I wrestled the great Khali. Here's a wrestler that overweighs me and is a lot bigger than me. But again, you know, there's a lot of technique, a lot of acrobatic displays from my end, and that's how I get around. That's how the match gets exciting, and you see that David and Goliath encounter.
Well, let's get into some of these more email questions, Ray, because we've had absolutely hundreds. We're always amazed by the response we get from wrestling fans. Danny from Hull, talking about the 619, he says you've never messed it up. How long did it take you to perfect that move?
That's a move that I've been doing for years, just not the way that I've done it now. I've always used to swing around, but nobody was there. Now, I put my opponent against the ropes, I swing around. It took me a couple weeks to break it down, and I think out of the 8 years that I've been doing it, I probably slipped like once or twice. And that's because either the ropes were too loose or my hands were too slippery, and I just went straight flying out to the floor.
Another question in here from Daniel Chader, Ray, who says, what superstar in WWE would you most like to compete against that you haven't already perhaps faced?
I think I would really love to compete, and I have faced him, but it was just so fast, and it happened at a bad moment. But Shawn Michaels against Rey Mysterio, I would really love to take that to another level.
Well, Joel Wilson asks, he's a massive fan as well of you, Ray, by the way. He says, in next week's draft lottery, would you like to see yourself change brands or stay with SmackDown?
I think if I change brands, this will be my 7th year being part of SmackDown. If I jump over to Raw, that would be a whole new start for Rey Mysterio. Different competition. And if I stay in SmackDown, whoever comes over from Raw to SmackDown, then I would have to face new competition. So either or, it's going to work good for Rey.
We get this a lot when wrestlers come in. Often the emails suggest that you may want to be a film star or something like that after a career in wrestling. But if you weren't a wrestler, if you were to choose a professional sport, what would that be?
I always say that if wrestling wouldn't have been so good to me, I would have probably played American football. And that was just, it's so big in the United States for us that I probably would have stuck with that. That's what I grew up playing too, besides wrestling and soccer. So I think I
So who do you support when you're watching soccer? Because obviously you're from America, but you've got these Mexican roots as well.
It's good because I grew up watching Chivas from Guadalajara, and my son is Cruz Azul. So every time they have a match against each other, it's like me and my son are rivals. Like he wears his Cruz Azul jersey, and I wear my Chivas jersey, and mine's red and white. His is blue and red and white. So it's kind of good. There's a good rivalry there in the house, in the family.
So Sven-Göran Eriksson is the new national team coach of Mexico. He's of course been big in the Premier League. Are you pleased about that?
Yeah, it's very pleased. Very, very pleased. I'm disappointed that Mexico didn't make it to this Euro Cup 2008, but then again, you know.
Then again, they're not in Europe. So that rolls that out. Sarah Olsen from Cambridge is 13 years old. She's a big fan of yours as well, Ray. She wants to know how she can improve her strength for wrestling, because she says a lot of girls her age are a lot stronger. She's a bit weak at the moment, but she has been wrestling for 3 months. So how can she improve her strength? She's 13. Wow,
she's already wrestling for 13? I hope she's going to a professional school, because, you know, what we say in our business is we like what we do on TV. A lot of children out there, kids, followers, fans, try to imitate what we do. And we always tell them to keep in mind to not practice what we do at home, because it's very, very dangerous. We go under a very strong supervision, and we've been training for many, many years. Me, myself, I've been wrestling for 19 years, and I've been training since I was 8, but under a professional gym, you know. And I hope she's doing the same thing, and strength will come as you age. And that's just technique. It goes along with your technique, with how much and how hard you work out every day, running, cardiovascular workout. And just as your body grows, you're gonna grow into your own strength, I would say.
End on a really, really important question, because Kevin McCall says he wants to know how much all your costumes cost.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
You do have plenty of costumes and plenty of different colours, don't you?
Probably about 150 to 200 costumes, and I pay anywhere from $500 to $700.
Wow. Quick question that's coming in from everybody. When are you back? Because we know you've got an injury at the moment to your bicep.
Right. I will be back by mid-July and ready to go at 100%.
Good news. We look forward to seeing you back in action. And if there really is a mask, that would be fantastic. A reminder, you can see the Night of Champions live on Sky Box Office on Sunday, June the 29th.
Coming up, we look ahead